Good day everyone. Today on the bench I'm going to tie you up my ultimate black leech. It's a very simplistic fly pattern here that works very well. It gets nice and slender in the water. It's got a little curved body to it. Great undulation, nice and slow. I can fish it slow in the shallows wherever I wish with the proper fly line. And we'll go over the materials we need to tie the fly. I'm going to be using a 2220 Daiichi streamer hook, size 8. No, actually this is size 10. I'm sorry, I like to use size 10s or 12s. This is a 20 wraps, 20 turns of O2O lead on the front. The underbody, which I like to use, is a Magnum Flashaboo 3284. If you can find this, it's a beautiful coloration. I like that on chironomids and many other uses. I put it underneath this body. The hackle, the body color is going to be UV2 Silex, blacks from Spirit River. UV is always a good product to put in anytime. We're using a lot of UV products nowadays. Fish really key in on that. So we'll get a hook in the vise and we'll tie this up. Also going to be using some soft, extra fine silver wire. You can use whatever color you like to make your little dubbing wire brush with that. And I'm just going to be using some 6/0 black thread. So this has got enough lead, and I'm almost got the whole shank wrapped with lead. The first 2/3 for sure. It gets me some undulation, but not a lot. Just a limited, just so I can fish this very slow. I don't want it to be like a jig. I want it to be very slow. Okay, to start with, I'm just going to take a little pinch of my Silex here. We'll just put a little bit on for a tail. Wrap that like so. Tie on our silver wire. Make sure that's on good and solid. And I'll bring in a strand of my Flashaboo. This great coloration, I just love this. And what I've found now, I've been going to a lot of these different style leeches now with brighter colored underbodies. Really gives a nice effect. So I'm just going to wrap it up so, go forward and backwards to the rear. I'll just take my thread over. This is all going to be covered over anyway. Won't really notice that black thread over there too much. Throw in a 1/2 hitch and bring in my dubbing table. You can put a dubbing loop in here. For those of you that don't have an Nor vise, you can just go to a simple dubbing loop. We use very little, and I pull these fibers out straight so I get as much length as I can. And that's about it. Very little the material. I'll just get that out of the way so you can see me spin this. I'm going to spin it the opposite way. And it gives me a nice hackle. There we go. Well, it's always good to get a little brush in there and brush it out a little bit if you can right here. But very little bit of materials on that. You can see very fine. So you can put a coat of Solares or something on the body if you want to sturdy this up, but it's got a lot of wire on it and it's strong. You can go right to wrapping your body, and I'm making very wide turns. I'm teasing it out as I go, and it gives it a very slender body. That's what I call my ultimate leeches, are done that way, because I find we always seem to get way too much material on leech patterns. They get too thick. Just like streamers, it's so easy to overdress a streamer fly. Less is more, and here I'm not using any beads. I want this pattern fairly subdued. It's got lots of coloration in the underbody. They blend with that dubbing. There's several colors in there. And that's it. I don't want to really take too much more away from that pattern. I want to kind of keep it as natural as I can. I'll bring in a wire brush. I can just tease that out a little more. But you can see that that flashabou is really showing through. And then if I want to just turn it, I can just bend this with my fingers a little bit to shank the hook and get a little curvature to it. It actually makes it even look a little more realistic, but it's super thin, and looks really good in the water. And so that's one there I would highly recommend. It's such a simple fly that you probably wouldn't sell many of these. I mean, they don't look like much with all the other bells and whistles and nice bright glass beads and so forth on the front of them. But if you want to catch some fish and some really nice big thick fish, I've caught more fish on leech patterns over the years than anything else. So we appreciate you watching Sports Fishing on the Fly again on the bench, and hope to catch you again real soon, and see you in the water.